Hello and welcome. This is Late Night Live, Blockchain Basement. I'm Drew, always here, bringing you the truth. You know the drill. Let me know in the chat how the sound is, how the video is. Probably going to have to upgrade my internet to a direct connection. I got good Wi-Fi, but could be quicker. My Crypto Journey. Welcome to OG Status, Rodney UG. Love having you in the studio, man. Can't wait to have you back. Putting out that fire content with us. But shout out to everyone in the chat. Timothy Murphy, Nicole Minis-Tater, Bitcoin, quite a mysterious name. Rings a bell. Crimson Caravan Company, Travis Harris, Veteran Crypto. What's up, everybody? So, yeah, I've seen it in the comments. Bitcoin took a dump today. And we're going to check out kind of where the markets are in general. Pull up a screen here. We'll go to just the overall markets. Bitcoin sitting at 36.5. Ethereum under $2,000. Once again, giving up almost 4%, 3.6% on the day. Rough to see. BNB still right in that 245 range, shaved off 3%. XRP still holding above 60 cents. Solana giving some back here. Maybe giving some people with, that missed opportunity FOMO a chance to get back in. Here is the weekly on Solana. It's absolutely been on fire this week. I've been very careful about my thoughts on when I should get into this project. I know it's one that I want to have, but I want to see how good of a correction we can get if it does not reach that volume pocket up there at $77, right? So it's at 58 right now. Here's the yearly. You can see absolute rip town. The 77 level is basically created from this front end shelf. You can see here. Maybe I'll zoom in on it. Pull it up here. It doesn't let me zoom anymore. Terrible. Right here. So this shelf right there, that little shelf right around there, just a little bit over at $77 is where a good amount of volume historically has happened for Solana. So it's interesting to see it kind of stumbling on its way up there. It was a heck of a volume pocket that it had. Come on, give me the truth. What up, Robert Kosin? Yeah, let's see here. Monkey turds. Bitcoin dropping monkey turds. Nice. Those are nice at night, right? Nothing sets your night off right like a little monkey turd from a person named Bitcoin. I'm going to see how much more Solana can fall down before I really move into this thing. Because, it, by all rights, could find its, near floor at around $40 if it continues to give up some action on the markets. And in general, I'm watching Bitcoin to really hold above that 34.5. What up, Eric Carlson? Thank you for joining us today on the show. Absolutely wonderful having you in. And yeah, anyone that's interested, hit me up. I saw, we're probably going to have to get a Christmas tree in that studio. I might even have to get a bigger studio because it's starting to get packed. We're starting to have, but then you run into the problem with how many mics, right? But yeah, there's Solana. Chainlink, we'll just do a quick check-in on Chainlink. Where is it at? $14. Not too pricey right now. And you can see it's trying to find a little home right here at this front end, this last kind of higher price pocket that it was in before the full collapse into the bear market. That's right at around $14.5 right there, all the way up to 15.5, obviously. So that's where Chainlink is sitting right now. We'll check it on Avalanche. No way, is it? It's not $24. $24 Avalanche. What? Nicole Minus Tater coming out. Fantastic. Fantastic. Absolutely love it. AVAX. $24 AVAX. This is not okay. This is not okay. This is expensive AVAX. Let's look at this. Incredible. We were breaking a lot of news today about that JP Morgan and Citibank connection that AVAX was able to come out with. Very exciting to see that that Onyx blockchain isn't going to try to be completely encapsulated into itself. Really, that's what I haven't seen the mainstream media talk about, is the fact that this proprietary private blockchain that JP Morgan developed is looking to communicate with the open market of cryptocurrency. Very interesting, very cool to see, very surprising. AVAX is pumpkin. Bogdan Popa. Let's check out. I'm just cross-referencing here. It's 2440, 2430 now on CoinMarketCap. Absolutely lovely. This is fantastic. That's the yearly. Obviously, you can see things have happened over the past, few days. And again, God, I was calling this freaking W bottom so hard, and it's worked so good. It's insane. Basic TA stuff can do. So 24.3 is where it's sitting at. That feels great. Really liking that. Sweet. And it's, again, just really, really interesting to think about if AVAX does end up as a top 5 competitor. Absolutely parabolic price action. And in a top 5 competitor in the next bull market, I'm looking at like 250 bill on up, for that top 5 at least. And, I think I would feel very, very confident thinking that AVAX is going to land in the top 10. But if it does get to that $300 billion market cap, guys, it's all. And the same thing goes for Solana, right? The same thing goes for Solana. So you got to think about that. But again, I keep bringing up these things, haven't been put into mass use yet. So we're going to see their full technological capabilities of transactions per second, yada, yada, yada. When they actually get into usage, make sure if you're here, smash the like. Smash the like if you like to see AVAX pumping, if you like to see Solana pumping, if you like to see our favorite cryptos just absolutely setting up for an amazing bull market. Smash the like. Send it out. Let's share this stream. We got the best stream on the internet. Unbelievable. But yeah, so let's get in. I'm going to get into, I have a good amount of macroeconomic news, but then I definitely have some altcoin news. I have some Airdrop alpha that we're going to be getting into around an up-and-coming blockchain that is looking to compete with BNB. So, C90. What the heck, bro? What the heck? We got this from Wall Street Journal, or Wall Street Silver, rather. Loans to commercial banks allow them to use devalued assets as collateral for loans, but the Fed accepts those assets at par full value. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that. Full value. The loans have a 1-year maturity, however, so the banks will have to repay the Fed in the beginning of March. The problem is that the regional banks use proceeds from the loans to pay depositors, and the devalued assets have declined even further in value, so the banks will have to sell the assets with a massive market loss, essentially. Basically just to repay the Fed. I'm going to take my face out of the way here so we can get in. This is from E.J. Antoni, PhD, but he's following FHLB. And anyone that is following FHLB is immediately leveled up on their value as a macroeconomic person. Flat out, I will say that. If they're trying to talk about macro and you don't know about the levels of risk that these banks are facing from these FHLB levels or the repo programs or the, if it doesn't click in their head what they did in March to save the banks is a short-term tiny little Band-Aid on a pretty big bullet wound. If that isn't acknowledged, I can't even take them seriously. That's where I'm at with it. But Bank Term Funding Program sees a small increase over the last week for a new record high. Remember, Powell and company, Jay Powell, have publicly admitted what was pointed out months ago. There is no exit strategy here. March 24th is going to be interesting. And yeah, it's going to get real interesting. I think that when March comes around and they have to realize the losses on those assets, that is going to spur a very, very knee-jerk reaction from the Federal Reserve, regardless of who's in position. I think Jay Powell will probably be in position that he's in when it comes. But when it does come, when that comes rolling down the mountain, they're going to have to cook the books. They're going to have to print. They're going to have to turn all the levers. Repos, basic quantitative easing, and rate cuts. That's what's on the underscope. That's why we see the Bank of Japan, Federal Reserve, and different governors within our own Federal Reserve openly priming the public to expect a rate cut in June. But now then you see them scooting it up to May 2 or 3 days ago. And now you get data like this, looking like a Wisconsin voting graph right here. That's a big spike in Bank Term Funding Program givings to banks that are essentially facing insolvency if they don't get access to the FHO, to the Bank Term Funding Program. And again, it was put out in March, right around March 15th, right after the banking crisis cascaded with SVB and yada, 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 all the other banks. So I'm watching that. I'm watching that because that is where, if the Federal Reserve has to quickly move to lower interest rates to save the traditional system, there are going to be masses of large investors that are going to be looking for a safe haven to place those assets in. Big lessons were learned in the last time. And if you look at the FDIC coverage of even just specifically regional banks, it is minuscule. The coverage of FDIC over regional banks in just themselves, not even the small banks additionally to the top 5, it barely covers a toenail of what these banks are facing. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Federal Reserve is able to keep these rates even just flat. I will be extremely impressed at the end of next year, 2024, if Powell hasn't absolutely jackknifed the rates down low once again. But it's all timing out so perfectly for the Bitcoin halving. Think about it. Bitcoin halving, April. Massive problems pop up in the banking sector, March. Then you have rate cuts, June. Oh, scam alert in Discord. Get him. Get him. There's a scammer in Discord. We have the best Discord, by the way. If you're not in our Discord, the link is in the description. Tons of alpha there. And good people looking out for each other, watching each other's backs. That's what's going to make us win, is because we do the right thing when no one's looking, right? That is what is going to make us win. So, yes, Mr. Mad Crack, thank you. You must be from, I popped into BitLab and said, what's up? I'm going live. So that's what I see on the macro. This is more conversation from Janet Yellen coming out saying unbacked crypto assets are going to be discussed at the summit, which happened today. Janet Yellen her position's in a tough one. She is the lead of the Treasury, and the knee-jerk reaction to the protection of the Treasury once Mark Zuckerberg developed Libra and challenged the minting of currency within the confines of the United States, very much so got the Treasury's head spinning, right? You have these companies that, granted, Facebook and Libra, or what was Diem, was in the United States at the time, so they had jurisdiction over it clearly. And now the U.S. Secretary is speaking about those concerns to Asian and Pacific countries as well, making this obviously a national focus. And it's no surprise, right? We've seen absolute obsession over CBDCs with the IMF and Bank of International Settlements. Stablecoins are quite a big deal, if you think about it. Being able to house your value and wait out market corrections, very, very, very powerful tool. And, if you have to go in and out of the traditional system when you want to house your value, when you see market downturns coming, that really is going to hinder a lot of movement on the markets. And it kind of detracts from the whole reason the system is put in place to begin with, which is instantaneous payments, right? So we see this like half hug from the IMF. They're like, because they like kind of like it, but then they also want to make sure that you don't have any privacy there within. That's the thing, and that's the thing that they're trying to figure out. You know, and we see, you know, what Dejed hasn't really, you know, done what it was supposed to yet for Cardano. But you need stable coins in your environments to really, really have that long-term growth. Because then the asset managers that are potentially thinking about moving into it have that option to have housed bags of value that are a 1-to-1 ratio. So yes, then obviously with what I just showed you at the banks, that conversation is picking up steam on a world scale. They see it coming. Sergey from Chainlink, I read an article last night, and he was highlighting they're doing things that make very little sense unless you want to literally demolish the entire system, in essence, is what I got out of his statements. And I'd have to tend to agree with him. Very interesting to see what's going on unravel in real time. But yes, we have the APAC meeting, Asia Pacific. We also have, you know, the president of China. Man, Blinken was not feeling good when Uncle Joe started talking about Xi Jinping. It got real awkward. Maybe I'll find it later on in the show here. But now we have this coming out from JP Morgan. Ending sustainable consumption and social advancement ETFs because they're getting crushed in these investments. This is all tied to the FHLB loans, which are picking up steam exponentially because these large corporations all got together through the years in Davos and decided that it would be better to focus money in these sectors, which have basically fallen on their face as far as profitability and sustainability. And really, even if you look at the recycling process of wind turbines, just go look it up yourself. I'm not going to sit here and rant about it, but it's an absolute nightmare. I used to hire and work in the wind turbine production industry for some of the largest in the world. So definitely interesting to see JP Morgan admitting this. Not interesting to me that it's happening. I already knew that it was happening. Interesting that they're admitting it. So, yeah. Ryan Schultz, I mean, shoots, it's getting there. I mean, it's been there, right? It's been there. We've all, I mean, if you follow me, you know, you're intellectual enough to see what's going on around you. Biggest thing I need to stress in that, you know, aggravation moment that we are in with literally being taxed on every single level possible, and then that money being used to try and send my akin to a conflict 10 years from now that's still ongoing against all of our wishes, is it's grinding my gears. I gotta admit that grinds my gears for sure, man. That is a Rumble topic. That is a Rumble topic. Absolutely. Let's check this out. So thank you. C90 FTW, keeping me on track, making sure I don't go off there. I appreciate you. Let me get some drink here. Boy, had some basketball practice for the first time. Excited. It was a good night. So we have this from the car dealership guy. This is more information on just general markets. It's important, you guys. Washington, D.C. has a 25% uninsured driver rate. New Mexico, just under 25%. Mississippi, 22%. Tennessee, 20%. Rate of uninsured motorist has increased over 30% since the beginning of season. That's interesting to see, right? People have very little extra money going on right now. And a lot of things, remember how people just didn't replace their tags for like everything? That's another thing we get taxed on. You could just keep going on the amount of things we get taxed on. It's absolutely incredible when you really lay it all out. But middle class, pockets are tight. That's where it is. And like, that's playing into the conversation. Where is the big move in crypto going to come? I mean, yes, retail gets very involved and does what they can, and they definitely dominate the social metrics side as far as, you know, searching results and what the algorithm ends up wanting to push to people because they're interested in it when the prices are moving up. But yeah, surprised to hear you say you're from Fargo. Most of my family's from Fargo. I was born in Denver. I live an hour or so east of Lake County, Minnesota. If you visit Fargo this winter, I'd love to take you ice fishing and pike spearing. There you go. And there's paddlefish. I remember I was trying to get paddlefish when I was a kid. These things are like 6 foot long fish with like a paddle face. They're like sharks. And northern pike up there are just sick. Very cold. No one has fences because it's so cold you will just freeze to death and die if you just go wandering around. So no fences out there. I found that fascinating. Yeah, Fargo, and that's where most of the family's from there. I haven't visited there in a long time, but I probably should. Now, things are heating up for Mr. Bezos himself. Amazon is going to launch online car sales in the beginning of 2024. Carvana just got Bezos. That's gonna hurt. He's like that Amazon is a cannibal of the markets. It's absolutely taken over. Wondering where their drone release is in the minds of these leaders. They were talking about delivering packages with drones pretty heavily. Yeah, all right, I'll keep doing the 9 videos. It fluctuates on the time. Got to make sure I think I might have to move it back to like 10 to give me more time to get the kids to bed. Sometimes, like tonight, the basketball. Yeah, I might have to move back to 10, but I'll keep going. You know, we consistently, and this is kind of like research for tomorrow's news, right? You get to tomorrow's news today. So this is interesting. This isn't a random crypto coin, meme stock, junk bond, or third world crypto or country's currency. It's a losses overall for the Federal Reserve. People with a money printer somehow managed to lose hundreds of billions of dollars. So I'm telling you guys, they're going to have to pull some big levers to get out of this situation. Ryan, I trade leverage very rarely, only in like the accumulation market. I was all right trading because like we were trading a range, right? Now that we're broken out spots, I've switched to spot only probably beginning of September. But yeah, I mean, I know 1 minute charts and all that stuff. I just don't see much value in it. I've seen just more people get wrecked doing that than winning. I'll say it that way. And like a lot of people I see flaunting and bragging about their amazing skills. Yeah, right, bro. I know. So yeah, I don't really mess around with that. But holding spot, buying really, really red moments in the market, those I would say are my absolute most effective ways to trade. And really, taking profits happens when I need the money. Crypto is just an aggressive savings account that I believe in wholeheartedly. I feel like there's a lot of value in it as long as the internet doesn't go out. And I've already prepped before I found crypto for that scenario. It's important to focus on positive things, right? Focusing on positivity really helps cultivate that success that I'm looking for, I feel like. So, I just don't want to get stuck in that realm of only, thinking that it's all going to hell and we just got to batten down the hatches and see how long we make it. Like, you got to move forward. You have to move forward and grow. It's really important to grow. Now, this is, crude oil is crashing, just fell below its moving average. So that's all on the macro stuff. I want to get more into but here is Corey Hardin calling me out. Oh my gosh. This is his next door neighbors, apparently, absolutely going ham with it. This is some intricate work here. I have a neighbor that's already started Christmas lights. You monsters. Now my children want Christmas lights. I love Christmas, but it's just a little bit early, right? It's just a little bit early. I'm going to have to do it soon. We're going to get a Christmas tree in the basement studio for sure. So I'm definitely going to be getting to that, but seeing Corey Hardin's neighbor just absolutely flaunt it. Unbelievable. What else we got here? So this is a throwback to when Jim Cramer referred to Pelosi as Crazy Nancy in a 2020 interview. I might play that on the show tomorrow. It's pretty shocking. AVAX, honestly, we're talking about it. It's still riding high, but another one, ORDI. Let's see where ORDI is at. ORDI, Bitcoin ordinals. It's a narrative that's just not dying. It's like Boris the Blade. It just won't die. Let's see. Yeah, you guys see. I mean, it came out real hot. This is a year's worth of data. Sat all the way down here. And this is where I was trying to buy this thing. It was... Oh, that's aggravating. I gave it it's not that aggravating because I tried like 3 or 4 times. It wouldn't go through. Look at that chart though. And this is that stuff. It kind of, annoys people because it's this new tech. They're trying to do ordinal inscriptions on Bitcoin. They're, clogging up the network sometime. And it was like pretty shocking to see ordinals when they came out at first. It was like a get off my lawn type knee-jerk reaction. But then, thinking about it, let's see if it can handle. Let's see what we can build on it, right? Well, I like projects that were already trying to build smart contracts on Bitcoin, right? I was interested in projects that were expanding on Bitcoin that way. So, I don't really discount that. But yeah, Avalanche is killing it. What is Avalanche? This is the season where you just keep checking the prices. Avalanche still sitting at 24.2. Hasn't really moved at all. Just what a absolutely thick wick. Look at this thing. Let's look at the volume. Where is it? Let's see if we can get it to pull up here. Come on, baby. It'll have some right here, just a little bit. You see that? Very cool to see it moving counter to the rest of the markets right now. But again, Bitcoin, as long as I see Bitcoin holding above that 34.5, I'm not concerned. I'm looking for stability and a reorganization, right around that 35 level. We're right there. I mean, I think we're even above it. We're like 36 or something. So, I'm going to be going into more detail tomorrow. This is a dispute between Unstoppable Domains and ENS. So, kind of an interesting thing here. And that's it. Just on an overscope, it looks like, ENS is a little bit upset with in their words. Let's just go through it. We might as well go through it. This is kind of an interesting thing because remember when this came out, Unstoppable Domains and ENS. I mean, it took the crypto Twitters by fire, right? I think we even have. Do we have an ENS? My wife? Do we have an ENS? Remember we bought that like Ethereum address? Like, remember that for your business? I think we do. Yep, I'm pretty sure we do. So, yeah, well, Unstoppable Domains is in this. So an open letter from Nick.eth, Nick's D. Johnson. Wow. Lead developer of ENS and Ethereum Foundation alumni, certified rat tickler with pronouns. Now, I care less. I'm gonna be honest. The pronouns really threw me off here. Okay, your name is Nick. Bro, since its founding in 2017, ENS has been a consistent and outspoken advocate of open source, open standards, and the importance of governing global namespace as a public good. All of our work is licensed under open source licenses, and all of our standards are publicly available for anyone to implement, and as a result, our commitment to these values, we have not pursued patents for our work. Oh. By contrast, Unstoppable Domains has begun doing so despite stating it supports open innovation. So, Unstoppable Domains is looking to patent what both of these entities are doing. Interesting. Yeah, honestly, C90, yes. After continued efforts to make headway in communication with Unstoppable Domains, they have failed. We are publishing this open letter to them to emphasize the importance of permissionless innovation and open standards in a Web3 ecosystem, and to request its cooperation in ensuring Web3 naming continues to be a place of innovation. In January this year, UD was granted its first patent number, and the number is 11558344, resolving blockchain domains. And it's a patent based entirely on the innovations they claim that ENS developed. That's where it gets a little juicy, right? That's where it gets a little interesting here. So, it looks like they mad. They big mad. It'll be interesting to see how that's done, plays out in court. Web3 domain custody and patent laws. Interesting to get that thrown into the legal question box. I kind of doubt that Unstoppable Domains is just going to work with them, though. Just judging by the movements of the two companies, looks like they give very few Fs. Just saying it. Bobby's up in the chat. Say hello to Bobby, everyone. He's running the chat. Let's see here. I'm going to go through the chat here. I'm sorry I didn't wait for you, Michael. Shoot. Thanks, man. I love the late night live. It's what's got to be done. I just got a notice of another patent awarded today with my name on it. It's a dumb patent, but I'm there in history. Very nice work, C90FTW. Very nice. Patents are no joke. No, this is water with ice. I had a late night coffee. Bobby's editing. We put out some fire. We laid out some fire to send out for the holidays. It's going to be fantastic. Put it down today, right after the live stream. But without further ado, remember all of that airdrop hunting we were doing. Arbitrum, various others. We got disappointed there wasn't a very good one. I don't think there was anything on Sui. But we were there. We were trying to get airdrops is a thing. I was able to get L airdrop, which actually was pretty awesome. But when you were looking at airdrops, always use a test wallet, you guys. Always use a test wallet. And verify your sources over and over again. There are so many scam airdrop links. That's like what the scammers kind of, outside of organic looking conversations in the comments below, they'll be like, oh, the markets are crazy, but I made this, and then 80 comments in 2 seconds. Scams and airdrops are huge. So please keep that in mind. But Ryan, yeah, I kind of do. In terms of airdrop, this is from Miles Dushner. I'll eventually do a dedicated thread on how to qualify, but for now, this is the best one he's seen from CC2 Ventures. So let's go in here. Let's check it out. Base. Why do I think they're going to have an airdrop? I believe if I'm having to shoot from the hip, we've been going after Binance to try to give Coinbase absolute power. It's an American-based company. They're going to use American regulators and enforcement to try to go after the competition. And Coinbase is already a well-known custody agent of BlackRock's incoming Bitcoin spot ETF, right? So essentially, I think what CC2 is saying here is dead on. Base will 100% have a token. Once Gary Gensler is gone, Coinbase can freely decentralize its chain and onboard millions of users. Base will flip Ethereum if they get their own token, and all of that happens. Of course, they're going to flip Ethereum, or Arbitrum, flipping Arbitrum, which is on Ethereum, layer 2. Here's the only comprehensive guide you've ever need to qualify for the Base token and replicate ARB. So make sure to bookmark this one. Go to CC2 Ventures, bookmark right there. Let's keep going. So intro short, why farm Base transactions are dirt cheap. Blue chip dApps already exist on Uniswap, Aave, PancakeSwap, yada yada. Coinbase is catering to normies, and you cannot deny that. You cannot deny the power that Coinbase has amassed from appealing to normies. It's an easy-to-use app. It's a fast-moving app. It's It's very clear, and we need a lot more apps to have a user interface that's as easy to use as Coinbase. In my opinion, that's why so many people like using it, is because of that user interface. It's easy. So, ARB equals GMX, base equals Friendtech, early innings of rerunning the ARB playbook. And again, that ARB airdrop was pretty exciting for people that were able to follow it. I know Johnny, a few in the chat were able to get on it. So shout out to you. And glad we could bring it up because it is out there, but you have to be active on the ecosystem. You have to keep that in mind. So, to reiterate, Coinbase's main intent is to onboard millions of non-DeFi natives and make crypto easily digestible. Criteria can't be too complicated. They aim to include as many normies as humanly possible for this airdrop. Arbitrum 2.0 with small adjustments. So here is your ranking score algorithm kind of cheat sheet. Each of the items below counts for one score. Conducted more than 5 transactions. It goes up and up and up. Conducted more than $1,000 worth of transactions, up and up and up. And then it counts your conducted transactions during 2 distinct months. So that's interesting. They're going to be looking at specific months, quite a few different months, up to 12 it lists here, which, maybe that's our overall bellwether on when to expect this happening. Probably, wouldn't it be interesting if it rolls out right after the halving? We have that little dip, little correction. I think we're going to have a little dip after the halving. But wouldn't it be interesting if base rolls out a few months after that, as the whole market is absolutely turning on fire, right? So we have that just to understand kind of the qualifying aspects of it. It's based on your transaction count, your volume, and how much of a recurrent user you are. And let's go more here. Use the official bridge and ETH mainnet on-chain summer NFT campaign. Ladder is not doable anymore. Actually, I think I did do that. I have a base NFT, like their original release one I think it was on the testnet. Yeah, I think that's still on the testnet. I've been on there. I should check back into it. There's just so much going on. I got to get back on base. So, we'll replace it with other NFT tasks. So it looks like you can go here. Actually, make sure I'm gonna try to maybe retweet this or bookmark it or something. I want to share this out because this is a link to the actual dashboard. But before we begin, consider using a privacy-protected zero-tracking RPC. That is a big deal. I don't think Base will filter IP, but it's a greater safety precaution nonetheless, especially when interacting with official bridges. Look at that. Look at that cute little guy. He's going in for a big one. Big gains. We're looking for airdrops here. Actionable steps on the official bridge. You can go here to the bridge.base.org/deposit website, bridge the ETH to the base chain. And I have done that before. I've put some ETH in the base. I think they called it like Gorelli ETH or something silly like that. Then I got an NFT. I might actually be qualifying for this thing. And again, that was back when me and Johnny were like messing around with Sui and all these other test nets. And, like some of them don't give you immediate rewards. But if you're not like that little girl that's yelling at Willy Wonka, you won't get wrecked, right? We're just trying to see if the system works, see if it, is good. So this will likely be mandatory criteria. So using that official bridge, but rather act as likely not be mandatory, but most likely by this guy's account, it's going to act as a multiplier. Alternatives, let's see the alternatives. Directly withdraw from Coinbase to Base. Bridge via Stargate. It's another one Johnny brought up to me. God, he's all over these DeFi moves, man. I'm telling you. Jumper and D-Bridge. So, and, DeFi, it's not for your normies. Like DZ and Johnny were talking about. It's not for normies yet. But who's the one that's most capable of bringing it to normies? It's probably Coinbase, right? This makes sense. It makes sense. For us Americans, based seamless integration into Coinbase app and wallet is going to make you perform very well. That's right, Eric Carlson. Eric, I need more microphones in the basement. I need more microphones and probably a tank. So, this looks pretty exciting, you guys. Here's his strategy. Bridge 1 to 2x from ETH mainnet. This will increase your wallet's digital footprint by tenfold and qualifies you for other airdrops. Potentially Celestia, he's hinting at here. Ooh, that would be interesting. Afterwards, use layer 0 powered bridges, Stargate and Jumper, or tokenized bridges, Orbiter, D-Bridge, layer 3. So, I mean, it's no walk in the park, right? You have to go through this very, very specifically to even qualify. And again, you're using test wallets. You're using wallets and the safeguards that were mentioned earlier before. Absolutely. Psychedelic, I know it gets specific, but it's pretty fun. And I know a lot of people are looking for this stuff. Not sure which protein comment, vegan. Not sure. Shaking Alex Jones' hand was like shaking a very old baseball glove. That guy, I have pretty big hands, and he has gargantuan hands, but not very tall. I was very shocked at how big his hands were. Shout out to the whole crew. I know they're going through it right now. Shout out. They're honestly going through way more than us at Hit Network, honestly. So number 6, Mint Fun, Mint.Fun, mint regular NFTs for 3 cents and create your own collection. It's a project of context which raised $19 million. And he's just considering, upping that ETH mainnet bridge to turbocharge the wallets there. So I'm definitely going to share this process out. This is a very specific process you have to go through to get airdrops. And no, vegan, it's still $100, I bet you. This should be a thing. The moment I check into Quant and it is not $100, then maybe my joy will be sparked. I mean, I like the price shelf. It's $102. $101. It couldn't even stand it. It's getting closer to 100 because I'm looking at it now. What is going on? What is this? Okay. I don't know about that. Why hasn't it moved? That is unsettling. And you never hear about like major upgrades to it or anything. I mean, I looked into the design of Quant. It's a very intricate blockchain. It's very technical. But why is it not having any interest? The whole rest of the market has had moments of good times here. And this thing, I mean, granted, it fell down to 86. So I'll give it that. It's up 16% on the month. But, wow. This thing. I don't know. I'm going to have to see some spikes on the old, whatever's in the hospital with the red line. I need to see that. Beep, beep, beep. I need to see it alive. It's kind of looking sketchy. So yeah, there's airdrop hunting for base, which will be coming up. I'm pretty excited to be digging into that stuff. We have even more adjustments coming out for major institutions and their absolute onslaught on the SEC to get a spot ETF approved. We had a $94 billion firm Wisdom Tree filed an updated version of its spot Bitcoin ETF earlier today. It's an S1 application. This is the form right now. Go ahead and maybe I'll share this out. This is from Bitcoin Magazine. You know where to find them. They're great follow there. It's insane to think that we actually will get a spot ETF. It's beyond my thoughts. I'm accepting it now because I think I've seen enough calls for it happening from people that really are in the know. So I do think that we're going to get it. Yeah. And yes, George is awesome. I like George. Some of that. I'll move on. And Quant, I like quant and what it's designed for. It's just, Jesus, wake up. Things are happening. Things are happening around you. And, you know, we've all seen the move from, I think someone in the chat was bringing up Humble. Yes, we've seen move from the Feds, right, on Tornado Cash and other crypto projects, obviously. But the move on Tornado Cash and the person behind the development of it, absolute overstep, in my opinion. Absolute overstep. Really awful to see. And this is some context I really like. This is from Chris Billick. It's not illegal for you and 10 strangers to put cash into a jar, mix it all up, and then redistribute the cash in the amounts that you had previously. How is Bitcoin mixing any different? Bam. Absolute alpha right there. Ooh, Ryan, nice. Okay, there you go. You're in it. That's a deep DeFi play. That's that deep DeFi play that I'm talking about, and it's time for me to start making them. You know, I'm soaking in the Avalanche move right now. Chainlink move's still going good. I was actually, it was crossing my mind to just buy more Chainlink because it's in the $13 range, but yeah, you know, I'm probably gonna have to go there. I mean, obviously Trump coin's on my mind. Election season's right around the corner. What up, Deadwood? Deadwood's a savage. He's out there rebuilding trucks. He's got things, and we need to get Deadwood. We were talking about patents earlier, Deadwood. I saw you got some ideas between the ears. We need to get out to the world. So, you know, other than that, pretty fun times in the market at large. Let's see what else I pulled up. I know, you know, this is just, I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is absolute chaos. Look at what they did to Vitalik Buterin. They made him look fantastic. He's like this blue steel look. You know, anyone know who is this other guy though? Is this the MCJ? That's clearly Vitalik Buterin though. There is no denying that. That is clearly Vitalik Buterin. Pretty funny to see this. And the conversation ongoing, you know, is Ethereum going to hold on to its spot? God, I really think it is. I think that we're going to see some great competition out of things like Avalanche and Solana. XRP will probably wake up like a bat out of hell for a short amount of time. And, you know, we're going to see moves from these aggressive layer ones that will compete well with Ethereum. But you got to keep in mind, I think that Ethereum has, with ETFs moving into the market, I am not discounting Ethereum to hit $1.5 trillion market cap at the peak of the next bull market. I'm not discounting that possibility. Caspa, I love seeing its success because it's a DAG, and I like DAGs, and we talked about Caspa very early, so even though I didn't buy a bunch early, I'm really happy about seeing it happen. I really think that we're going to see a resurgence of value in proof-of-work coins in general. You know, it is my strong opinion that there is a lot cooked into what the White House, what the Department of Defense, and all these other entities want out of Bitcoin as a proof of power, proof of energy spent, right? It's a version of national security. It is. And so I see the integration of that coming. How the marriage happens, I know in the heart of hearts, I feel like where it will begin is in the oil and gas industry with that capture. But it has interesting implications beyond that. And as Nick pointed out in his rant about Caspa this morning, there are absolute mega corporations setting up Caspa mining systems. So it is becoming more mainstream. Caspa, like, guys, we are in the boring part of the market in context. What Caspa's done, don't discount it to keep going. Let's take a look at Caspa. This fantastic, and it's all over the place. Like, I love to see Discovery Crypto and Basement Calls crushing it. I love to see this. This is what it's all about, doing the right amount of research and having our compass dialed the correct way. On the day, it's up by 8%. It's at about $12.60 right now. But let's look at the overall. This is the month. Big move. Up from 5 cents to 12.5 cents in 1 month. And, on the year, basically, here's where Nick's going hammering this thing in the basement, right in here, just for context. That wonderful red flat valley of boredom, and oh my God, is the crypto market going to survive? We were in the basement letting Nick rant about that. I was ranting about Thorchain, and we crushed it. And here's where Caspa is now. We have an absolute massive explosion in price. You don't have any previous levels. This is full price discovery. And this is essentially all the data that we have for it. But what we can go off of is the tokenomics and the market cap. And it's at a $2 billion market cap right now. $2.7 billion market cap. Circulating supply, 75%. There are going to become some deflationary mechanisms into the actual inflation rate of this token as well. But it's already 75% circulating. Fully diluted market cap at $3.6 billion. At the rate that Caspa has gone, oh God, you guys, it's not crazy for me to think that Caspa will hit $100 billion. It is not crazy. It's new. And yes, we're holding, if you've been in these markets for a while, through multiple cycles, we're holding bags of projects that we believe in, that the tech's still there, but the usage really isn't there right now because yada, 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 markets are down. You get questioning them, but then you see some hot new project that all the miners love and is absolutely destroying it on the gains, up 6,800% in its life cycle. I mean, and that essentially is a year. It's just over a year. I'm not going to be surprised if that thing makes it near $100 billion in market cap. I'm not going to be surprised by that. Now, am I being greedy about this wick, right? Even though I give all this context and where the general markets are moving, I am still being greedy. I still want a pullback. And I will look for the next round number because humans think in very basic terms. And 10 cents is my new line in the sand. That's it. That's all I remember. And if it breaks up to the next level, fine. Then I'll readjust. But I want a little bit of a pullback. I want to break on the price action. I want to see some volume. I want to see some support built up. I want to see some stair steps being built. So, yeah, 68,000%. God, that is 68,000. 68,000%. My apologies. 68,000%, you guys. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it's just got good tokenomics. What's the overall circulating supply? Yeah, so what we got? 21 billion out, 21.5 billion. Total is at 28 billion. That'll probably cook somewhere around the 23, 24 spot when we get there. I think that's sick. It's sick. Caspa is sick. And shout out to the savages that were in it. And Nick's miner is very hot. And our workouts are insane. And we're putting up with it because it's Caspa. That's why we're putting up with it. Love Caspa. And yeah, Drew Shake going to get me a Trump coin. Oh my God. There's going to be so many of those created, you guys. There's going to be so many political coins coming up over the next years. So let's see, make sure I got everything covered here that I wanted to. I'm going to be doing some deeper dives on stuff I want to play. Yeah, I mean, in general, I think I covered it all. That's the value of literally always being in the news. But then I kick myself in the butt because then, well, it's good because I have to dig even deeper for the stuff that everybody else is not talking about yet. Now I feel like we're 2 days ahead of the news cycle at this point. So I'm excited to see what news breaks on tomorrow. I'm excited to see if Bitcoin can hold this general level. I'm excited to see that because if Bitcoin does, if it does, look at this. If it holds this shelf, which is well below where we are right now. Like this shelf goes all the way down to 34.2. We're at 36.4. If we hold this shelf and even chunk back a little bit, that is such a bullish looking graph in general. And for great context, I mean, let's not even look at where we are right now. Let's look at where in time frame I believe we are in context of the last market. So in my opinion, we're kind of right in this range here. Right in this range. This is the black swan event that you see a lot of people using as a fractal, which is super chaotic in my opinion, but that's what I see people using. They're using a worldwide sneezing session, to put into their fractals to try to predict the future. They already tried number 2.0. It didn't take. We're not doing it again. But for context, this is where the markets ended up. It happened pretty quick, you guys. We're right here. This will be right around the middle of next year. It'll be pretty similar, some slight chop up. And then the real fun begins after the halving. It's going to get real thick, especially if we have these ETFs, which I do think we will. But we have to have conviction. We have to have a trading plan. We have to be doing the deep dives, the research to make sure that we're finding the right projects to get into. Wonderful to see Thorchain and Caspa do this, and Chainlink and Solana and Avalanche, right? Absolutely wonderful. Let's see, Thorchain and Thor Wallet and Thor Starter on ramper for new chains. Very nice. We're going to be, I want to be doing a much deeper dive into Thorchain. What up, Crypto Blood? Thank you for joining me on the show today. Absolutely lovely having you on every single time. But yeah, guys, things are moving well in the markets right now. I understand the concern on the macro side, but people were getting crushed financially during flu season and the market still cooked to the moon, right? And then everyone was sitting there watching it. What up, French Toaster? Billeth Crypto. Billeth Crypto on Caspa. That market cap is small enough to move in a big way. If Caspa continues on the path, let's do some context. Comparing Caspa to another aggressive project that we saw really move in the last market, right? Polygon definitely captured some momentum in the last market and kind of feels the same as far as hype level and excitedness in the market. Just if I'm having to do hillbilly emotional TA on crypto Twitter, that's what I would say. Here's Polygon. So this is 2020. This is when I picked this project because it had a good logo. Literally knew nothing about layer 2s. At the time, I was just like, yeah, it looks good. It looks pretty cheap, pretty good, right? And then boom, right? You move from 2 cents all the way up to, I think we topped out right at around 250, 260, 270. So pretty much, nearly a 200x. And it was in kind of a similar boat. It was a brand new project that just came out of nowhere, offered a very pinpointed use. And I really think that it would not be crazy to see a similar graph to this. It's just depending on how far up this beginning candle are we, right? If it loses momentum, or proof of work gets banned, which it won't, then something bad could happen to it. But in general, I think we're just in price discovery range. You can compare it to a situation like this. It might be a while till we see it calm down. I hope I see it calm down in a big way sooner than later, but it's not really having any chill, and I mean, the miners, they are ASIC miners. But there's a whole nother talking point about ghost DAGs that hasn't even really hit the limelight yet. It's nonlinear direct acyclic graphs. It's just a chaotic design of a network to make it more encrypted, more secure, right? Nonlinear blockchain system. And that is more focused on like security and things like that. We haven't seen that real push from, I mean, we see like the Pentagon and the DoD talking about it all the time. And then obviously we see like the healthcare hacks and all that. So it's starting to really been pushed into the average person's thought process. It will probably, at large, we're going to see our systems overhauled one degree or another. The question is not if an overhaul on our electric grid and our data communication system is going to happen. Is it going to be the private sector, or is it going to be government entity only? Is it going to be proprietary government blockchain, or is it going to be the private sector? And in that flatline terms of thought, I will say to people that doubt this technology that governments are not good at innovation. They're good at regulation, right? The free market does a much better job at innovating good competitive projects and products, and the government is good at regulating those things. So Zach Nasty thinking we're going to pump hard tomorrow. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. 91 cent. Oh, are you talking 91 cent average? What are you on Polygon? Oh yeah. What is? It's so terrible. I hold like a small amount of Polygon. I literally don't even pay attention to its price because last market was so excited. Oh, it's at 86 cents. Yeah, at the front end of this bear market, Polygon was real strong. At this point in the market, Polygon was being hoisted up as this unbreakable beast. As you can see, like all their altcoins, it's experiencing the downtrend. I was falling pretty well below that. So, it's actually a pretty good chance, pretty good entry point on Polygon, if you ask me. And within Polygon, loop ring, that's that same mindset, old school, layer 2, MENA protocol, something we've been looking at as well. But yeah, C9, 91 cents. I know the feel. But this thing, like we were talking about the power of DCA over time, I'm going to have a video talking about that too. It's important to think about, the context of time frames. Like XRP has been pretty boring. I've been holding it so long that it was like 17 cents though. So it's like, yeah. But, other than that, you guys, the markets are looking pretty stable. I would not be surprised if we do get a good green day tomorrow. So just highlighting some good opportunities we have while the world sleeps. Asian markets, I think they might be opening up pretty soon. But in general, it'd be nice to see a big resurgence on Solana for me, myself. That's a big target for me. Super, super aggressive layer 1 that's being brought up on CNBC, or all the mainstream headlines are starting to trickle it and starting to prime the public for these things, because you can tell which ones are going to be releasing to the masses. I think Solana is definitely on that list. Now, if it can handle the load, that's going to be found out. I think that they are going to F about and find out on that regard. But price action for the token will experience the fun that comes along with that movement, should it come. And in my opinion, it is coming. So I hope you guys are in a good position. I hope that, and if you have any questions, drop them in the Discord, hit me up directly on there. Feel free. I just found where all the messages that I need to accept go. So that's good. We're on our way there. And just send me anything you have that you want me to take a look at. Might be able to dive into it on the live stream in the mornings. But share the stream out. Just send it out to the ether. Let's see if we can get this crew growing here. Let's see if we can spread this information to the masses, because it is a pretty amazing time to be part of this. Maybe Basement Banditos is going to be it. I think the person that, I think someone was like trying to make fun of me. I was like, that's a pretty cool name, honestly. Banditos, But you guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this late night live stream. And go live every day, 2 p.m. And it will likely be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I'm also going to be put out a few videos this Saturday, and we're really going to be digging into base on Discover Crypto. I know that's going to be coming up, but we have some pretty fire content that taking a lot of horsepower to create, a lot of research, a lot of elbow grease. But we're putting it in because the time is now. This is the exciting time in the market. This is the time that we are here for, where the beast of cryptocurrency once again wakes up. And as long as we're positioned ahead of this, it's going to go the right way. And it's on us to spread the message before it gets too crazy out there. So absolutely appreciate every single one of you up in the chat. Crimson Caravan, Edward Middleton, Humble, Nicole Ministator. I think you're coming out. I'm excited to see you. Crimson Caravan, Mitchell Veno, Thumbnail Investor. Perfect timing. I finished shopping, spent $280 and put the other $20 in BTC. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And DCA, you could do DCA on preps too. Just buy a little extra, beans or, rice. Just a little bit. Look, goes a long way. If you're consistent at it, it's the same mindset, you guys. So, I'm going to get some rest. We're going to see you in the morning. Hopefully there's some more awesome news. I don't know how we can outdo today's news with Avalanche and two of the biggest banks in America hooking up with it. Super sick. And shout out to everyone that got in on Avalanche. In my process, every time I get into a coin, I'm going to put it out on Twitter. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you're not already. I'm sure many of you are, because my homie's up in here. You know what? Let's just talk about the Blockchain Basement Twitter, because I'm also running this. I got access to everything. I am the captain now. At BChain Basement. There's our Twitter. So make sure to give it a follow. And y'all have an absolutely awesome night. Sick, nasty, shake and bake. Gary's Guzzler. I will see you in the morning. And until next time, stay salty, friends. Peace.